Hey guys, welcome back. Ruler Gaming here, and we are here with a new video series, and we're going to be talking about some of my favorite games growing up and my overall feels about them. It's not going to be a ranking system like the console reviews or anything like that. It's just going to be me being me, talking about some of my favorite games that I've played over the years. So sit back, relax, and then I hope you guys enjoy. This video is going to be dedicated to the Call of Duty series. Now, before you say anything and crap all over me, I definitely was that toxic jerk playing Call of Duty. Saying every bad word that I could think of, crapping all over everybody, thinking I'm top crap, and all that junk. So yes, I was that person. I am no longer that person, and those are the reasons actually why I stopped playing Call of Duty, but we'll get into that later in the video. So we're going to start with where I started, which was Call of Duty 4 actually. I haven't played any of the first three, but Call of Duty 4 was kind of my first jump into the Call of Duty series. I didn't actually own an Xbox 360 at the time. I actually started playing on my buddies. Again, it was one of those things where my dad was a Nintendo player, so he didn't bother buying any other consoles other than Nintendo products. So I never really got a chance to play Xbox or PlayStation or anything like that until I would go over to a buddy's house and play them. So it was quite some time after I started playing at my buddy's place. So obviously I didn't play consistently, so I was obviously really bad every time I played, but I found it a lot of fun. So, because it reminded me a lot of another one of my favorite games that I'll talk about again in a different video, but Medal of Honor on GameCube. So it gave me those kind of feelings back. So I decided to, after a while of saving up some money, I bought one used from a guy. Luckily, he still had warranty on it because it did Red Ring of Death on me, literally 2 weeks later after buying it from him, and he was really good about it. So I got a new one, and from there on, I started, buying games and kind of just playing whatever. I mostly bought and played Call of Duty games. So with Call of Duty 4, it was if you haven't played it, it's a first-person shooter based on war, and in this particular game, you had 3 kill streaks, meaning if you got a certain kills in a row, it would give you a bigger reward to then inflict damage on your enemies. So, for example, 3 kills in a row gave you a UAV, which was to see on the map where your enemies were, as long as they didn't have a perk to block it. 5 kills in a row was airstrike, so you would pick a location on the map and you would drop bombs wherever they were. And the next kill streak was 7 kills in a row, and it was a helicopter which you did not man. It was automatic, and it would just find any enemy and shoot them down, and it was difficult to hide or get away from it. You didn't have the ability to hide from a helicopter in this game, which was kind of nice when you got it. I didn't play, or at least I don't remember playing the campaign, so I don't actually remember anything about it. The unfortunate thing about Call of Duty 4 for me was when I went back to go play it after several years of it not being like the main game, that it was full of like hacked lobbies, so it was like people flying around having infinite, life or ammo or whatever, so it made it really unfun. So I just kind of stopped playing it altogether and kind of just moved on to the next game, which was Call of Duty World at War. By the time I got my Xbox 360, both these games were out. So Call of Duty 4 was kind of old school at the time. World at War was a new thing. Started playing that a lot. With this game, it was based in World War II, so it was kind of giving you a throwback, which I really love because I love the wars, as I mentioned before. In this one, you had different kill streaks, so you had other things that And, again, the more kills you got, the better the rewards. There was more than 3 this time, one of them being dogs. I believe it was 11 kills in a row. You would get dogs, and it would just be seriously just a bunch of dogs running and finding enemies and killing them. So a lot of people actually really liked it because it kind of felt like you were in the time back then, because that it would have been like dogs going around and hunting down people, which is also kind of grim, but it would have been probably pretty accurate back in World War II. So I really enjoyed the game. Again, I don't remember playing the campaign, and if I did, I definitely don't remember anything to do with the campaign. I mostly played multiplayer online. I really actually like this for like the weapons, because like it went back to like the Tommy gun and all these other weapons, and I actually would look these weapons up to see if they were accurate, and they were, of course, because back in the day they would have actually done the research and made a game based on real things. So that was really cool. It piqued my history interest. This is also the first game that Call of Duty series brought in zombies. If you're not familiar with zombies, it was a game mode that you could play with friends or by yourself or random people online, where waves of zombies would come in, and each round after you killed the certain amount of zombies would increase the amount of zombies, the zombie's strength, and attack. So it would progressively get harder the further along you go. The more rounds you did, the harder it would be. So for me and my friends, this was actually an amazingly fun mode, because like my other friends, they like my 2 closest friends actually, they don't really like PvP. They don't really like that style of gameplay. They like localized multiplayer fun. So we would play zombies together, and it would be a lot more fun because it's cooperative. We liked co-op games, and even though I like multiplayer, I love co-op. I actually prefer like sitting in a room with my friends and playing games together. That's what I greatly prefer over online gameplay. So we would play zombies. The unfortunate thing was, at this point, because it was new and they really didn't expand on it, you only had one map to play on. And in this map, once you found the strat, or knew the strat, it was really, really easy to get to a high round. And eventually it would just get kind of boring and you would just stop playing. They did release a couple different maps after a while. There was one, I'm sorry that I don't remember the names of them, but there was one that was based in a hospital where you had to try and find the electricity, turn it on, be able to do anything. So there was like a little bit of puzzle, which was cool. And then I think it was called Mina. Oh, I'm so sorry I don't remember it. But the cool thing about this map was, again, it had puzzles to it, but it had these 4 corners. So 4 corners of these buildings that had different perks in them, and you had to go and you would again have to try and find where one, you had the weapon box, which would give you a random weapon based on so you would I believe it was 900 points. You could use the random box, give you a random weapon. There was the ray gun, which was top notch. It was basically would run one-shot zombies, so that's the gun you kind of were hoping for the whole time. But what made these new maps different was the weapon box would actually move after a certain amount of uses on it. So you had to go to these different huts to find the weapon box to be able to really do anything. Of course, if you got enough points, you could buy weapons off walls, but none of them were like great. It was more like just kind of mediocre weapons to kind of get you through until you could buy a weapon from the random box. Unfortunately, I actually don't know how to beat either of these levels. I've never beat either of them and never really actually looked into how to beat them. It was just kind of a thing that me and my friends played, and it was a lot of fun. I really liked the puzzles. The puzzles really reminded me of like Legend of Zelda. So it gave us hours of entertainment for sure. Now, to go into my absolute favorite Call of Duty game, which was Modern Warfare 2. I know there's it's kind of like 50-50 on this game. I think a lot of people did like it, but there was a lot of bad things that people exploited, and so thus a lot of people started hating. I hated those things too, but for whatever reason, Modern Warfare 2 was by far my favorite Call of Duty. It was probably because I was actually good at it. I could actually do pretty well in it. I wasn't that type of person to get nukes every 5 minutes, but I felt that I am still and was a really good player back in the day. Like if I go back and I look on my Xbox 360, it says that I think I've played over 30 something days, 30 something days played of Modern Warfare 2, which is a lot of your life to be sitting and playing a game, but I don't care because I enjoyed every minute of it. This is where I kind of got into the competitive scene. It was late Modern Warfare 2 before I really got into the competitive part of it. I mainly just played, again, online. I played Deathmatch. I really liked Search and Destroy, and I hated Domination with a burning passion. Don't know why. I was just terrible at it. Couldn't do it. But I played many hours. That some of the little things that I think people appreciated about the game were, the little Easter eggs. There were places that you could get to if you did. They are technically exploits, but you could get behind some gates. You could find hiding spots up top on little ledges if you knew how to get there. It was actually really cool. But of course, it was annoying if other people used them and you couldn't kill them, right? But yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. This is the one that I remember actually playing the campaign. The campaign was really cool. It was the first kind of game that I saw interactivity, where you could do things, it wasn't all just automatic cutscenes. You could actually do things in the middle of cutscenes to make something happen. And if you didn't do it, then there would be consequences and things like that. So it was more interactive in any kind of game that I played, other than maybe some games. Actually, I can't even think of another game that was really that interactive where you could kind of interrupt what's going on to do something. So that I really enjoyed about the campaign, and the story of the campaign was a lot of fun too. It kind of kept me on the edge of my seat, trying to figure out who's who and what's happening and who's dead and who's not dead and all that kind of stuff. So the campaign was really well done, in my opinion. Some of the biggest downsides, and I think why a lot of people hated the game, was because of the quick scoping. And if you're not familiar with quick scoping, it was the ability to not fully zoom in with a sniper rifle, but yet be accurate and kill somebody in one shot. So a lot of people hated that because it was a lot faster to do this quick scope than to zoom in and kill a person. So a lot of people hated that. My biggest qualms was the noob tubes. Now, again, if you don't know what a noob tube is, it's the grenade that was an attachment that you could put on your weapon and shoot literally across the map and kill people. I hated it so much, and I will continue to call them noob tubes because it was really just somebody that was shoot, and you would kill somebody. You could kill somebody literally 5 feet in front of you if you shot it correctly and just destroy them. For a lot of people that was fun, and that's cool, that's your style, that's fine, but for me, I felt it very annoying, and I never did it really myself. The only time I ever did it was when you combo it with the perk called One Man Army, which allows you to swap your class in the middle of a match, and so then you basically can, so you say you have a class built that's noob tubes, then you could go, and when you run out of noob tubes, you can just keep switching back to that class and refill your noob tubes. So this was very popular to get a nuke, which was one of your kill streaks, which was 25 kills in a row without dying. You could nuke the whole map and you just win the game. You kill literally everyone, your team, the other team, but you ultimately win if you're winning when you use the nuke. You can lose if you use a nuke at the wrong time. But so that was the only time that I did it, was to get a nuke, because I hadn't gotten a nuke. It was probably the best strategy for a nuke, which was unfortunate. Again, bad gameplay, unfortunately, but yeah, I just kind of avoided it after that. I just never really did it. I just preferred to use skill. Yeah. One of the cool things too is, even though Call of Duty Modern Warfare and World at War did have DLCs, Modern Warfare 2 was really the one that I bought actual DLCs for, because again, I enjoyed it the most. So the maps, in my opinion, were awesome. They were probably the best DLCs that you could have gotten in any of the Call of Duty games. They had, my favorite DLC map is Trailer Park. I like my small close combat maps. I don't like necessarily big long maps where you have to snipe. I think it's kind of boring that way. I like close combat because you could turn a corner and all of a sudden there's a dude there and you're like, ah, and you panic and you're like, where's my knife button? But then you die anyways. But I like that. I like the quick combat that's like keeps you on your toes because that's exciting for me. So I really like Trailer Park, and it brought back some like one of my favorite maps from Modern Warfare, which was Vacant. Again, a really small map, probably even smaller than Trailer Park, and again, it's just close combat, going around the corner, who's going to be there. So that, again, was really awesome for me, and I really enjoyed that a lot. Again, there's some maps that weren't great in it. There was, I believe it was called Fuel. Yeah, Fuel. And it was awful. And there was actually a bug in it where you could glitch into a rock and no one could see you, and you could just snipe people all day. Luckily, they fixed that, but again, it was very, very annoying. So again, there's always downsides to every game, even if it's your favorite game. So there was definitely a couple. By far, my favorite map of all of the whole series is Terminal, which was an airport. So you could go into a plane. There was like the terminal, baggage claim, all that kind of stuff, which was really fun. There's quite a few little Easter eggs in there. So again, that was another reason why I liked it, because I could use those little Easter eggs and, wow some people, because they're like, oh, how did you do that? At this point, everyone knows everything about the game because it's so old now. But that was one of the things that I loved about it the most, was just those little Easter eggs that you could do. And running around, my favorite weapon was the UMP-45. It was very, very popular amongst almost any player. A lot of people used it, probably just because it was the strongest submachine gun. It was quick and it was lighter, so you can move quicker. Probably why it was the most popular, is just it had kind of everything going for it. A couple other things that kind of make it unique that you did have in Call of Duty Modern Warfare was you could customize your weapon. Like you could put like different camos and things like that on it, so when you hit certain challenges, like 1,000 headshots done, you would get like a certain camo or something you could put on your gun to make it a little bit more unique and customizable to you, which I like that, because you don't want to be running around with all the same things that everyone else has. At least in my opinion, I don't like that. So little kind of things there. As well, another bit of customization for Modern Warfare 2 was the ability to get titles and badges. So you could then again customize, put your own titles. So one of them was Boom Headshot, and then you could put like a nuke badge beside it or whatever. So you have different customization, which I really like. Very minimal, but it was still something that made it unique to you, which I think is really cool. At the end of Modern Warfare 2, kind of like when Black Ops was about to come out, was when I started getting into the competitive scene. On Xbox, there was clans, so there was groups of people that came together that would, do these online tournaments. So I got involved with that because I was playing so much and I felt that I was skilled enough to be a part of it. So we did pretty well. We never, won top 3, but we still would have a lot of fun and do fairly well, in a seed of maybe 15 groups of people. So that was we would usually be 5th ish, so pretty decent. And you had to be more aware. It would be search and destroy, so you had to be really attentive to listening and hearing what was going on around you. It was a lot of fun. And then that competitiveness kind of went into Black Ops when that came out. It started out okay, but then it kind of got rough as our team leader kind of pieced out. And then I unfortunately, at the time I thought it was fortunately, got chosen as team leader, but I let the team down. I wasn't as strategic as probably somebody else in the group that would have been the better choice. But of course I was young and I thought I was top crap, and then things happened, so it kind of all fell out in the middle of Black Ops. But I really enjoyed that time in the competitive scene. Now, with that being said, one of the reasons I left and stopped playing Call of Duty was actually because of these competitive scenes where the community was so toxic that everything you did was, somebody was chirping at you, somebody was making you feel like a piece of crap. It was constant swearing, constant belittling of people, that weren't maybe on the same skill level. You know, you see new players coming in and they just want to play the game, but then you have Joe Blow over in some odd random area of the world, and he's calling you an F word and this and that because he thinks he's better than you at a video game. And that's where I was like, maybe I should kind of like check myself and not be a part of this anymore. So I played quite a bit of Black Ops. Honestly, I don't remember a lot of it. I definitely don't remember the campaign. It's just not very memorable. So I don't really know what to tell you about Black Ops. It was it's probably just because that was the turning point for me of getting rid of the toxicity that Call of Duty kind of had. So yeah. And then on to, Modern Warfare 3. Short and sweet. I hated it. It was boring. Didn't like it at all. Barely played it. And then Black Ops 2 was actually pretty good. It had a lot of new features, a lot of more customization, some different game modes. So that was a lot of fun, actually, getting kind of back into it and playing that. And again, I didn't play it a lot. It was... Well, that's not true. I guess I played it a lot at first, and again, halfway through I kind of quit. And the only time I ever went back was to play Zombies, to be honest. And because Zombies, again, was getting better and better and had more elaborate puzzles and things you had to do, which was really fun. So I haven't really played Call of Duty seriously in years. It's probably for the better. I'm not equipped to, play hardcore like I used to, but it was still a lot of fun going back once in a while and playing Modern Warfare 2 and wrecking noobs. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of miss it, but I think I'm a better person overall, just stepping away from that kind of environment. So I guess just to touch overall on the Call of Duty series and why I loved it and why it's one of my favorite game series. Other than everything that I've said, it's something that just kind of got me through high school and got me through kind of all the crappy situations. It'd just be something that I could put my headphones on, tune out the entire world, and then play and not have to worry about anything else but what was happening in front of me. So that was kind of the reason why I loved it so much. And when your life kind of expands and you have more things that you enjoy to do, then you can kind of leave a bad situation. And I know some people are probably thinking, oh hey, this guy's just a wuss or whatever to be emotionally affected by these idiots that talk crap. And you know what, that may be true, but to be honest, I just don't want to sit there and be yelled at by some dude that has nothing better to do with his life than to sit on a video game and yell at people. How miserable is your life? So for me, I loved the community aspect when I had a community, and I loved the uniqueness of Zombies and some of the different gameplays and the accuracy of playing in a world full of war. But the toxicity just ruins everything for me for the Call of Duty series, and I probably will not go back. And I don't even want to talk about the new games that came out after the fact. It was just not good, in my opinion. So anyways, I know this video is very long. I kind of planned on the series being very long. So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. The series is definitely going to be more on an emotional level with me. If you want to get to know me better, this is definitely the content to watch. If you're watching and you're liking my stuff, please subscribe, please like, and let me know if you have anything to add to your Call of Duty experience. Do you disagree that the community is toxic? Do you think that it's actually perfectly fine? It actually toughens people up, or whatever perspective you have on it? Or do you agree? Do you agree that the community has gotten so bad that it's not enjoyable anymore? I want to hear any feedback you guys have about not only my content today, but my overall video and any technical things that you might think that would benefit me as a YouTuber. let me know. I genuinely want your feedback, and I genuinely appreciate every little bit of effort you guys put into watching my videos and taking the time to comment and let me know what's going on. So thank you guys again so much. And next week, I'm not going to tell you what game I'm going to do next week, but it's going to be good. I promise you, it's going to be full of emotion, and I really think that you guys will enjoy it. So thank you guys again so much for everything and your continuous support. That's it for this week. I love you guys. See ya.